Hello my babies, welcome back to another Pioneer League. This week we're playing a Seasons Pass deck with nearly no win condition. In the main deck we have the ability to loop Seasons Pass and tutors for Seasons Pass with some effects that drain our opponent's life, like Witherbloom Command, Collective Brutality. We can also kill them with Hissing Quagmires. And if they really want to stick it out and aren't going to concede to us, we have a Mastermind's Acquisition with which we can get either an Ashiok Dreamrender or a Carnage Tyrant from the board to try to win with that. Other than that, and not having any creatures in the main deck, we are a pretty typical Seasons Pass pile. We have a bunch of discard effects, we have a bunch of kill a creature / wrath effects, we have a handful of tutors, and we have a bunch of 1-ofs that are decent to get with tutors depending on the situation. Our sideboard has a bunch of 1-ofs in it too. We have Thought Distortion, which is really fun to play against decks like Phoenix and the Lotus Field deck and control decks, things like that. There's a couple Cry the Carnariums, there's a Carnage Tyrant for us to either tutor for game 1 to win with, or bring it in against somebody who hasn't seen it before, and usually it can get a win pretty quickly with that. An Orbs of Warding, a Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Ashioks, another Seasons Pass, so if they, for instance, cast a Necromentia or an Unmoored Ego or a similar effect and get our Seasons Passed, we can still Mastermind's Acquisition to get one, so we're not out of the game. There's a Fog, because that's fairly easy to loop and stall a game with. There's a Barrier Breach in the sideboard, and there's also a Pharika's Libation in the main deck, because Klothys is very, very good against us, and we definitely need to get it off the board. Vraska's Contempt can technically deal with it, but not usually. They usually don't have enough devotion to make it a creature. There's a Noxious Grasp against green and white creature decks, there's a Crypt Incursion against aggro decks, and 2 Duresses for combo and control matchups. And we'll see how we do. Alright, we won the die roll for match 1, so we'll start on the play. We've got Mana Fixing, a Necromentia, a Soul Guide Lantern, probably just for a redraw, and an Extinction event. So I think this is a reasonably good hand. We'll keep it. And we'll just go turn 1 Fabled Passage. We'll get a swamp at the end of our opponent's turn. Den of the Bugbear. Insolent Neonate. Interesting. Usually Den of the Bugbear has been the mono-red version of the burn deck for me that plays like Torbrand sometimes, but I'm not sure what Insolent Neonate means for this format. Probably means that Soul Guide Lantern's good, whatever it is. Let's play another swamp. Soul Guide Lantern. Sadly we have to eat our Fabled Passage, but it doesn't matter that much. Yep. Hopefully they will show us enough of what they're playing next turn to where we can Necromentia something important. Conspiracy Theorists. So they're playing a Madness deck, it looks like. Attack with Neonate. Yep. Not really worth popping Soul Guide Lantern yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see. We got Assassin's Trophy. I'll play Field of Ruin to thin the deck at the end of their turn. We don't know it's a Necromentia yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. Inspiring Vantage, so they're playing Boros. Or at least Boros. These are very weird colors for a Madness deck if that's what this is. They might just be playing like Hollow One or something. I wonder if they're going to play a Hollow One at the end of their turn. Discard an Inspiring Vantage, okay. We take 3. They don't do anything, okay. I'm probably just gonna tutor for a forest here, and then I'll probably just Necromentia Hollow One to make sure that they aren't playing that, so we don't get got suddenly. And at least that way we can look at their hand even if we don't do anything else. Suffocating Fumes isn't bad. Let's see. Let's go Field of Ruin, Necromentia you. I suspect he's playing a Hollow One deck, but I don't really know. So we might just end up discarding this Necromentia and not doing anything with it. Yep, we got 4 Hollow Ones. He has a Fiery Temper, a Conspiracy Theorist, and 3 lands in his hand, so his hand kind of sucks. He's playing Thrilling Discovery. He has 4 Ox that we could try to get rid of. He has a couple of Flamewake Phoenix. So Flamewake Phoenix and Ox are his main threats now. Okay, and Conspiracy Theorist, of course. If he plays the second Conspiracy Theorist, he probably will this coming turn. We can Extinction Event those away, so that's nice. And then we have a Suffocating Fumes if we really want to get rid of this Neonate. But I suspect we'll let it stay around for a little while. Soul Guide Lantern is actually doing something because of Ox being in our opponent's deck. Or at least it's possibly doing something. We'll see. If I get a Seasons Past, I'm definitely going to get back Necromentia and get rid of those. Fiery Temper, that's fine. Yep. Wonder if it's worth just popping Soul Guide Lantern at end of turn to draw a card. We'll see. We're at 10. Well, we're definitely playing Extinction Event. I do think I want to draw a card with this. Alright. Swamp Freaka's Libation. Let's go Extinction Event on even. Yep. So I need to Field of Ruin their Den of the Bugbear, and I need to finish stabilizing the board. And then after that we just need to draw a tutor so we can start looping things with Seasons Past. Seems like we're in a decent spot. How much mana is this? 4, okay. Go blank is decent. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Den of the Bugbear. Get a forest. Play a forest. I think in his upkeep I'm gonna Assassin's Trophy his Conspiracy Theorist. Just to go ahead and get that off the board too. Or I don't want to do this yet. I want to do it during his draw step. So he's a bit more likely to have drawn a basic there. Fails to find a basic land, beautiful. That means we can start trophying lands when we have Seasons Past 2, so that's good. Three cards in hand. Interesting. So Crucible of Worlds is going to let us get back Field of Ruin, and they don't have more basics. But I think I want to just get his hand and board cleared as much as possible here, so I'm going to go Suffocating Fumes. You probably sacrifice your Neonate. I would assume, at least. Okay. Discards a mountain, draws a card. So he did draw a basic land there. Then we're going to go blank you, so you have one card left and no graveyard. And then we're going to start Field of Ruining next turn. He had a Fiery Temper, that feels kind of bad. But it's fine. He could have just cast that without madness anyway. Now we're at 5, so we are in the danger zone. We just gotta not die here for a little while. Is our opponent going to do anything on their turn, I wonder? If they play a creature, we pretty much just immediately force them to sack it on our turn. Flamewig Phoenix. They have a hasty creature, that kind of sucks. Hasty creature that comes back from the graveyard if they can satisfy the requirement. That's nice. Okay. So let's go 1, 2, 3 Crucible of Worlds. Get back Field of Ruin. We can't activate it and also cast Libation, so I'm just going to Vraska's Contempt, so this is an exile, and we gain 2 life back. Cool. And we can get rid of 2 of his lands next turn now. How much mana is Ox? I forget. He doesn't have one in his graveyard, or in exile, does he? Nope. He hasn't seen an Ox yet. If we can keep him off of Ox mana, because I think it's kind of expensive if you're not escaping it, that should be nice. Sadly, this format doesn't have Ghost Quarter, and we can't Field of Ruin as basics, but if we get an Assassin's Trophy, we can start going after those too. And then just see if we can get a perfect victory on our opponent. That would be fun. Opponent's taking a while. We have 2 more basics to get out of our deck. Another Flamewig Phoenix, that's annoying. It'd be funny if he didn't attack with it. Alright, we're in burn range now. Okay, now we're out of burn range, because we can escalate, neg 2, and lose 2, gain 2. You. Discard. Alright. Okay. Opponent doesn't get a basic, so they weren't slow rolling us. We have all the basics out of our deck, but we're going to keep Field of Ruining them anyway, because there's no reason not to, really. Opponent passes, excellent. They're about to be off of Fiery Temper mana too, so that's good. Abrupt Decay, not bad. Not really the life gain or tutor that we want, but I'm still satisfied with it. Our opponent no longer has white mana now. And we have an Abrupt Decay in case they have a hasty creature, like another Flamewake Phoenix. If we can get rid of their basic lands, that would be fantastic. Ritual of Soot, not bad. Get back a Field of Ruin, say go. And eventually, we will draw one of the 6 cards that is either a Season's Pass now or turns into a Season's Pass. And then we will start doing business. I think I'm just going to Ritual of Soot this, so that I still have Abrupt Decay open in case he can go, like, land into a Flamewake Phoenix, so I don't take any extra damage that I don't have to. Just go ahead and get rid of that. 1 damage a turn is a lot more scary when you're at 5 life. He discards a Lightning Axe. Oh yeah, he just has a bunch of dead cards against us too, that's nice. Playing creature-free decks is a lot of fun. Your opponent automatically has a bunch of cards blanked. We'll go ahead and decay that. See what we draw on our turn. Thoughtseize. Well, we're not casting that. At least not right now. Thoughtseize is not a good draw here. But they didn't draw anything on their turn, so that's good. Beautiful. Alright. We're going to put a card from outside the game in our hand. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Seasons Past. We're gonna cast Seasons Past. We're gonna get Mastermind's Acquisition, Soul Guide Lantern, Assassin's Trophy. Well, not Assassin's Trophy. I want Collective Brutality instead. And Necromentia. Done. And opponent concedes. Beautiful. Alright, so what do we want to bring in? Grafdigger's Cage seems decent because they have some graveyard recursion, but not a ton. Ashiok might also be good because of that. Thought Distortion doesn't seem great, Duress doesn't seem great, Crypt Incursion seems good. Fog might be good. Ashiok might be worth it. Let's see. We can take out... Go Blank was good, but Thoughtseize didn't seem great. Soul Guide Lantern was fine, Fatal Push was fine. Necromentia was good. The Rafts were all fine. We didn't see Casualties, but it might be fine since they're playing artifact creatures. Let's cut a pair of Thoughtseizes. I still sort of want to, but I don't want to deal a bunch of damage to myself since they have some burn. Suffocating Fumes wasn't that good, because most of their things don't have toughness 1, and the ones that do sacrifice themselves. And Farika's Libation wasn't that good. I think Cry of the Carnarium's worth bringing in, because they have a lot of X2s. Cut a Casualties of War, since they're not really playing, since they're playing a faster game than somebody that Casualties of War is usually good against. And we can cut maybe 2 of the Slaughter, maybe Balaged Recovery. Let's cut a Balaged Recovery. I like Crucible World since they only have 4 basics in their deck, at least that we saw. They might have had more in their hand that they were sandbagging and we don't know about. Languish, Grafdigger's Cage, and Fixing. You know what? Let's keep it. We can play anything that we top deck pretty much, and we have answers to recursive threats and answers to them making a sudden board full of Hollow Ones or something, as long as they don't kill us somehow before Languish can come down. Luckily, since we're not playing Modern, the Hollow One engine is not that strong here. Especially since they didn't have a play on turn 1. If they played a Neonate, they might be able to get a Hollow One down on turn 2, or a few Hollow Ones down on turn 2, but not this way, at least. We can Field of Ruin their main land on our turn 3. And then we have another Field of Ruin too. Conspiracy Theorist, that's fine. I like that this card's seeing some play, because it's definitely an interesting one. Okay. We take 4 damage this turn. They're not discarding a card. We're at 16. Alright, I think we just go ahead and Field of Ruin their Den of the Bugbear during their draw step. Just so that they don't get the chance to activate it. And we'll get a basic forest, I think. Maybe I should bring Fog in this matchup, because most of their damage is just through attacking. So looping a Fog with the Season's Past essentially just ends the game. I don't think I saw anything that prevents damage prevention. Alright, we don't have any spells yet because we just haven't drawn any this game. So we're going to Languish here to conserve our life total and get rid of 3 creatures. But I'm not super happy about it without us having more action in our hand. Seasons Past. That's at least another Languish. Let's play Field of Ruin. Languish. We need more removal is what we need. Thrilling Discovery. Makes me think this might be the Hollow One turn. Maybe not, if he's gonna Madness this. Put us at 9? Yep. Battlefield Forge, that's fine. Soul Guide Lantern, okay, that's a redraw at least, and it's another card for Seasons Past to eat. Or to get back, rather. Let's get Flamewake Phoenix just in case. There's an argument for keeping the creatures in the graveyard in case we draw Crypt Incursion, but I'd rather not risk a Braid or something like that. Especially since he saw Soul Guide Lantern in game 1, so he might have brought in Artifact Hate. Let's play a Swamp. And we'll just go ahead and pass the turn. I'm probably going to pop Soul Guide Lantern at the end of his turn. And I might pop Field of Ruin too, but I'm not certain yet. We've seen 2 basics now. Fiendslayer Paladin. Can't be the target of black or red spells your opponents control. So hexproof from black is what's relevant here. So we're going to have to Wrath this away. And it's just a 2/2 first strike lifelink other than that. That's fine. Magmatic Channeler, that's fine too. Yeah, let's go ahead and use Field of Ruin to thin our deck before we pop Soul Guide Lantern. Get another Swamp, because that's the only option. Draw a card. Yep. To the Slaughter. Okay, so... Probably just Seasons Passing this turn, but we'll see. Ooh, Dark Petition. Well, in that case... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can Dark Petition, get Ritual of Soot, and kill everything. We can't, we don't have Spell Mastery. That's disappointing. Let's To the Slaughter our opponent here. I'd like to stabilize a bit more before we got Magmatic Channeler. Okay, so he's counting on Fiendslayer Paladin being good. I'd rather stabilize a bit more before we just tap out and say go for a Seasons Past. I'd like to gain some life ideally, and have the board be clear. So now Dark Petition is just a Demonic Tutor. Casts an Ox. That's fine. Cry of the Carnarium can kill both of these, so that's kind of funny. And we did bring it in. Hollow One. Cry of the Carnarium does not kill that one. Oh, these are all odd mana costs, so we can exile them all with Extinction Event, and then our opponent only has one card in hand. What is Fervent Mastery? Oh, I remember this card. Okay, that's pretty spicy. One, two, three, four, five. Get Extinction Event. Play a Forest. Cast Extinction Event. Odd. Cool. Our opponent has... How many creatures do they have in the graveyard? They have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we want to gain some life. Oh no. That's annoying. Yikes. Well, so we're losing. Oh, opponent draws a card with their Soul Guide Lantern. All right, that's perfectly acceptable. Our opponent nearly just won the game there, and then just sort of chose not to. So I'm a little confused, but all right, our opponent concedes again. I don't know why our opponent decided to draw a card instead of stopping the Seasons Past deck from winning the game, but that's match 1, 2-0.